Hi, it's Chrispy Patty with the virus and lots of time in the house. Rather than doing some editing on some past videos to show you, which I will release aiming to do each Saturday, I'm going to read this book, so you could just put the phone down or play this in the background or cuddle up or whatever you want to do. But this is the book I'm going to read, The Princess and the Valley Man. It's by, and I hope I pronounce this right, Dorota, Kluza, and Evan Williams. I actually met Evan Williams in Death Valley, which was a really cool honor. He's a nice guy, really genuine nice guy. And he signed the book as well. It says, to Chrispy and friends, we hope you enjoy the book and visit our national parks. And I said that I would probably read this book. Well, it's been a few months, been with other projects, but I think it's a good time to do this. I am a preschool teacher, so I'm a first responder. So I'm also working right now during this pandemic, and to help out other parents, and of course to be there for kids. So now that but my days are half of what they are because of the what's being implemented by the state. Anyways, let's just jump into this, huh? Who knows how many years from now you'll be listening to this, and we'll get through this. All right. I'm probably going to read chapters, and then we'll go days into this because it's a long book. But we'll see. We'll see where we go. All right. So the first couple pages is pretty neat. If you don't know where Death Valley is, it's right there. It actually shares Nevada and California, primarily in California. If you didn't know that, it's the biggest national park in the lower 48 states, which probably will discuss this in the book. And there's a dedication by Dorota. It says, very special thank you to my wonderful parents, and I will not even try to pronunciate her parents. I will show you. For showing me the world of imagination and fantasy, which taught me that anything is possible. Beautiful words. And thank you to my parents, Casey and Jean Williams, for always supporting me in my goals and giving me the inspiration to achieve them. Evan Williams. Written by both the authors. The introduction. Join Solace and Luna as they travel through America's most breathtaking and beautiful natural elements, the national parks. In this series of books, Solace and Luna embark on boundless, amazing adventures, make new friends, and learn about wildlife, ecology, and the history of the national parks with a twist of fantasy mixed in on their mystic journeys. This series of books, The Princess and the Valley Man, aims to teach children about the importance of nature and wildlife and these truly unique places that we all get to share called the national parks. Through Solace and Luna's adventures in our national parks, children will be able to learn about the unique features of each place they visit and enjoy the journey. Here's a beautiful picture of the Death Valley National Park. You can see the great detail. It's beautiful illustrations, artwork. All right, chapter 1. Let's get into this, huh? All right. If you haven't noticed, I'm dressed for the occasion. I have some great cactus plants on my shirt. I don't wear this often. This is a special occasion. I don't know where to look on the camera, so. Is that you? There you are. All right. There was a place on earth that was considered most unusual, Death Valley, which was in California in the United States. Now you might be asking yourself, what makes Death Valley so unusual? Well, it was a land of extremes. While it had towering mountains, it also had below sea level salt flats and even sand dunes. All strewn across the landscape were rock formations of many colors, some of which held mystery. Sometimes, when the rain comes at the right time, the landscape would bloom with an explosion of flowers. These mostly grow from the many seeds that had been waiting in the dirt. Sometimes they wait many years for the rain to come. Mostly, though, it is the heat that makes this place famous. You see, Death Valley is the hottest place on Earth. One day, because of Death Valley's unique terrain and features that focus the sun's energy upon itself, it reached a temperature of 134 degrees Fahrenheit, or 56.6 Celsius degrees. Hot tamales, the hottest temperature ever recorded on Earth. Something very special also happened on that day. Before we move on, here's a picture. A child was born in this place of extremes. This child, some say, got something even more special from the sun on that day, an inexplicable kind of energy that would be with him wherever he went, which kept him safe and protected him from harm. His parents called him Solus. He was an extraordinary boy who grew up in this most interesting and unusual place. He was not afraid of anything, and he made lots of friends, including local animals that he used to play with. A born explorer who never gets sick, decided one day to take it upon himself to protect and preserve Death Valley, which he loved with all his heart. As a young man, Solus traveled to many places far and wide, and has seen many kingdoms. In fact, as a former soldier in his kingdom's army, he had fought in many battles. His exploits were famous throughout the lands, especially among school children who were studying history. Living in Death Valley, he worked by helping those who came to seek adventure and to see the amazing sights. One day, on his way back home after a deeply exhausting day at work, he came upon a group of travelers who had become trapped in their big coach within a massive sand cloud. He sped up his wagon to reach them quickly and to help them get out of it. He knew it was not a typical sand cloud caused by the wind, but a monstrous attack of a deadly sand creature living in this area that could not stand any noise. Luckily for the travelers, Solus was not afraid of it. "Do not leave your coach," Solus screamed. "Close the windows and your doors and be as quiet as possible." But the travelers were overwhelmed with fear and panic. "Help us! Help! Get us out of here!" they screamed. "Get us out of here, please!" Solus jumped off his wagon as quickly as he could. He looked like a cowboy wearing an old western-looking bandana on his face and a special pair of shoes designed to not sink on any surface. He ran to them, then tied a big, thick cotton rope from his wagon to their coach. At this moment, the scary sand creature came out of the sand cloud and started to shake the noisy coach violently from one side to the other. The travelers were screaming loudly from fear, but Solus was not afraid of the creature at all. He stayed calm, carefully connecting the rope. He made a few quick steps, like he was floating on the sand on his wide, flat shoes, and was back in his wagon in a second, pulling the tourists and their coach away from this dangerous sand monster. Once they all were on safe ground, Solus emerged from his wagon covered in sand. "Are you okay? Is anyone hurt?" His voice was calm, reassuring. This was the sand beast living in this area. "I hope she did not scare you too much. Next time, you must be more careful here and must follow some precautions. By the way, my name is Solus." Just as he introduced himself to the travelers, he saw among them the most beautiful girl he had ever seen. He was entranced, but the travelers interrupted his reverie, crying with happiness and saying, You saved us! You saved us! Thank you so much, Solus." "Oh my goodness, you are all covered in sand," one of them said, helping Solus dust the dirt off his shirt. "We were very sorry for this trouble, but we got confused by the intense heat of this place. Luckily, we found the coach. But when we tried to drive out, the beast attacked us. You know the rest of the story, Solus. You are hero. Solus's face blushed from the attention. Oh, I'm not a hero, guys. I'm just glad I could help and to make sure you are all fine. Travelers often get confused from the heat here. Ordinary folks could rarely stand the kind of heat we have in Death Valley. Just be more careful next time. Wear a hat and drink lots of water. And watch out and take precautions to avoid the sand beasts in this area. Solus flashed them a smile that was pure charm. We would love to thank you somehow, Solus, said someone from the group. Please allow us to invite you for dinner tonight. It is really not necessary, he replied, but then he could not take his eyes off the beautiful girl. But of course, I would love to have dinner with you all. Hooray, they cheered in unison. See you tonight at the Last Kind Words Saloon. See you then, replied Solus happily. On the way to their accommodation, the travelers could not stop talking about how Solus fought off the deadly sand creature, and how brave he was for saving them. And among them, the beautiful girl that Solus liked merely smiled, quietly anticipating to meet him again. Chapter 2. The Beautiful Princess. When the evening came, they all met in the Last Kind Words Saloon, except for the girl that Solus was hoping to meet that night. Sorry, but one of our friends could not join us tonight, the group told Solus. Her name is Luna, and she did not feel too well from the incident today with the sand beast. She is sensitive to rapid movements. Luna is also our very dear friend from a distant place. You would never believe it, but she comes from a star kingdom, and she is a princess. But please tell us about yourself and your life here in Death Valley. Solus's heart sank upon hearing that Luna would not be joining them. Nevertheless, he started to tell his story to the travelers quite enthusiastically, hoping to see Luna another time. The Death Valley I live in is a place of extremes, as you probably noticed today. It is hot and dry and may seem lifeless, yet it is home to many types of plants and animals, and it can be full of wonder and beauty at times. Death Valley is both dangerous and majestic, and for these reasons people often come to visit just like you did. The travelers were so surprised with what Solus said, even more so that he was able to live in this place. But how can you live here with such extreme conditions? I am not just a typical valley man, Solus replied. I traveled to many places far and wide and seen many kingdoms from many different tribes. I was also part of my kingdom's army and fought in many battles. I have been educated in many fields of study. Now I live here in Death Valley and enjoy the rawness of nature and the harsh lessons of surviving against the odds. Wow, that sounds unbelievable. We do not think we could do it. They all agreed, laughing good-naturedly. They then told Solus that they had come here for a short honeymoon because two of them just got married in the kingdom not too far from here. We were planning to explore the majestic sights in Death Valley, relax here, and take amazing wedding pictures amid these breathtaking, beautiful surroundings, they explained. Congratulations, said Solus. I am sure you will have an incredible time with unforgettable memories from Death Valley. They talked avidly deep into the night. By the time the clock struck 12, they were all tired from the events of the day and said goodnight to one another. While helping a different group of travelers the following day, Solus noticed the beautiful Luna coming into the cabin where he was working. He did not expect to meet her there at all. Solus's heart raced as Luna approached him. Hi, Luna. How are you feeling today? I missed you at the dinner last night, said Solus, wondering why he was able to be so direct because he was usually shy. Luna looked at him strangely. You don't recognize me, do you? Solus laughed. No wonder I had a bandana on my face and looked like a sand mummy when we first met. Luna also laughed, but nervously. Oh, hi, Solus. It's true, I did not recognize you. You look very different today, and your eyes are amazingly blue. Luna gazed fondly into those majestic eyes. Yes, I did not feel well enough to go out last night. I had been shaken too much, I guess. My stomach felt like being upside down. And then they both laughed loudly again. By the way, I have not had a chance to introduce myself to you yet. My name is Luna, but you know it already. Thank you again for saving us yesterday. Of course, I could not possibly do it any other way, Solus beamed. Your friends told me you are a princess. Your friends told me you are Princess Luna. I do not quite like to introduce myself using my royal status. I am just Luna. I came to get a map of Death Valley and some information about places to visit here. Could you please help me with it? You sure do live in a spectacular part of the world, she said. Solus was very happy to listen to her and was absolutely mesmerized by her softly spoken voice. Of course, Luna, I am glad to help and explain everything. I'll show you a map of the best places to visit in Death Valley. I also suggest you check out our exposition for visitors about Death Valley in the cabin before you leave. Solus nodded and smiled until she moved away and continued to moved around his cabin. When she was leaving, she turned to Solus and gave him a warm, sweet smile, which made Solus's heart leap for joy. She's the most beautiful woman I have ever seen, Solus thought to himself. Yet he was so smitten, he said nothing. Solus's heart pounded in his chest. He knew he wouldn't be able to forget her. The next day, while guiding a group of travelers out to the barren salt lands, Solus noticed a small group of people who seemed dressed rather unusually for this occasion. There was a couple who were in wedding clothes and several other people with them. Then Solus remembered the conversation he had at dinner with the travelers who he saved from the sand creature. They said during the dinner that they want to take some wedding pictures here. At this point, he was almost finished with his tour, so he decided to go and have a better look at what was happening. He saw that the beautiful girl from the day before was among them. His heart leaped with joy, suddenly feeling overwhelmingly shy. Solus slowly approached her, his heart racing, and he felt like running away right before she turned to him and gave him a warm and welcoming smile. Feeling braver, Solus smiled at her. Hi, everyone. I see you found a great spot for pictures. Yes, we absolutely love it here, they all replied. And then Luna chimed in quite sweetly. It is so beautiful here. Solus, you are quite lucky to live here, she smiled. I'm so glad to be here, she chirped. Can you tell me more about this place? This is so interesting. Well, Solus began. He was only too glad to be of service. He began telling her about what he knew about Death Valley and what it was like to live there in the middle of what seemed like an arid landscape. It's not at all arid. They smiled at each other as they walked back to the carriages. Would you like to see me again? Solus asked. Let's meet up tonight at the Last Kind Words Saloon. Here's the picture. I'd love to, she said, her eyes twinkling with anticipation. Solus finished his work for the day, but with nothing on his mind but the beautiful Princess Luna. He could not wait to see her again, so much that when she finally showed up at the Last Kind Words Saloon's doorstep, his heart raced and he felt so happy. Luna noticed several portraits hanging on the wall behind the bar. Who are all these men in the paintings? She asked. A lot of them look like you, except they all have funny handlebar mustaches, and you don't. They both chuckled. These are our past Valley men, Solus explained. They are the founding fathers of Death Valley, but only one of them is actually my relative. This guy here was my grandfather, Helios. He was a great valley man. I never got to meet him. However, as he vanished one day while looking for lost visitors. I did not realize that your family had such a past with living in Death Valley, replied Luna. There are still many things we do not know about each other, but hopefully we get a chance to become better friends in the future, replied Solus, smiling innocently. That night at the saloon, Solus and Luna had many laughs and talked the night away. It was all perfect until Princess Luna asked the question, So, what exciting things shall we do tomorrow? Oh, I have a sipper. All right, chapter 3. The next day was a special day, the changing of the year. Princess Luna was with her friends touring the Sea of Sand and the Mosaic Canyon, which are both very beautiful and popular sites in Death Valley. Solus finished her work earlier than usual. Solus finished his work earlier than usual so that he could get ready for the party that the Valley Men held to celebrate the changing of the year. At the party, Solus could only think of one thing. Princess Luna, who was at the fancy dinner ball in the palace that had been built in Death Valley for its notable visitors. Yet, the party of the Valley Men was not even halfway through when a messenger arrived bearing a note for Solus. Would you like to join me and my friends at this fabulous ball in the palace? It was written in a beautiful cursive signed by Princess Luna. Solus was ecstatic. He rushed to the palace and arrived just on time to join Princess Luna and her friends for the New Year's dinner and dance. It was a wonderful feast. The local native tribe, called the Timbisha Shoshone, had decided to share their culture and stories with the visitors. They shared some of their traditional dances to welcome the new year and to bring prosperity and good fortune to the people here. They also told stories about Death Valley and the creation of this unusual place. I'm so hungry, Luna said at one point. Solus, what is this wonderful dish that the Timbisha made for us? It is called an Indian taco, Solus said. It is a special fried bread with meat, beans, lettuce, tomatoes, and cheese. I've never eaten anything like it. It is absolutely delicious. Can I have another one? I think this is my new favorite food, said Luna. I am sure that would be fine. They are my favorite things to eat too, replied Solus. Everyone was so excited to learn about the history of the Timbisha and get to experience a little bit of their culture and cuisine. Solus, what can you tell me about the Timbisha? Luna asked. Well, Luna, the Timbisha have lived here in Death Valley for more than 1,000 years, Solus began. They get all that they need to live off the land. There are many sacred places here for them, so this area is very important to the Timbisha. In fact, the name Timbisha means painted rock, and they get that name, from the very red-colored rock that we have in some areas of the valley. Wow. These people are so amazing and have such an extraordinary way of life, Luna exclaimed. I really enjoyed learning about them and getting to share in some of their culture. They are really a great people, and there is still a lot we have to learn from them. But this will all take time, said Solus. Princess Luna and all her friends had a lot of questions for Solus about being a valley man, and as the evening went, before we move to the next page, here they are, Solus and Luna. Looks like things are looking good. They had a wonderful time getting to know each other. When the dinner was over, they went to the ballroom for the dance. It was a long-standing tradition that when the new year turns, you get to kiss your dancing partner. Whoa. Solus was really looking forward to it because he was here with the princess and he really wanted this kiss. After dancing, everyone was given a special drink made from the juice of mesquite beans. It was sweet and had a hint of cinnamon. The Timbisha Shoshone often prepared this drink for special occasions, and tonight they all got this special drink for the toast to welcome in the new year. The countdown started, yet when the clock finally struck 12, all Solus got was a hug. Princess Luna embraced him, and he stood there, not knowing how to return the hug, or should he still expect a kiss. But there was nothing else, and when the princess turned to her friends, Solus figured the hug was better than nothing, but it still made him smile. "Would you like to dance with me one last time?" Solus finally asked the princess. "I have to be at the cabin early tomorrow, so I cannot stay too long." "I would love to," the princess said. So they danced and danced and danced. "This is the happiest night of my life," Solus thought, with the princess in his arms. But like all good things, the dance had to end. Regardless of what Solus felt, he had to say goodbye, at least for the night. But just before he was supposed to leave the ballroom, a strong wind swept in through the windows, blowing away the curtains to reveal the most amazing spectacle Solus had ever seen. The full moon in all its majesty. "The moon is amazing," Solus muttered to himself. "I have never seen it so big and bright in my entire life." Luna just smiled to him mysteriously. The next morning, Solus was still unable to calm down from the previous night's excitement, so he sent a messenger to the princess to ask her if she could meet him again at the Last Kind Words saloon in the evening. "Please meet me at the Last Kind Words saloon this evening. I would like to show you something." At the saloon, Solus and Luna were having a great time talking. They talked about many things, and Solus even told Luna about some of his heroic stories that normally he would not share with anyone. It was a beautiful night, and the sky was clear and full of stars. Solus asked the princess, "It's beautiful out there. Would you like to have a walk by starlight?" "Maybe," she said. "Where would you like to take me?" "How about we go to a famous spot over the hill where we could gaze at the stars? It's a bit far and the night's nippy, but it would be all worth it." Solus was not really expecting her to agree to come with him. After all, it would be some distance, yet to his amazement, Princess Luna said yes. Whoa! Chapter 4. Sip. Zabriskie Point. All right. They got... Oh, here's the... Well, I'm not going to show you the picture yet. They got onto his coach and went to Zabriskie Point. This particular spot was a wonderful place all by itself. It was formed by ancient lakes, leaving behind different colors of sediment, like chocolate browns, whites, tans, reds, and yellows. Then millions of years of erosion carved the landscape into a masterpiece. Even so, it was an amazing place where two people can watch the stars at night. It was simply breathtaking. They got out and walked on the small path to the top of the hill. Solus walked on this path many times before and knew his way up the hill, but this night was unusually dark despite many shining stars in the sky. It was very difficult to follow the path this time, so Solus took Luna's hand to hold her safely. That moment, Luna's hair started to shine with millions of stars and made the path brighter and easier to walk on. Solus looked at Luna and did not know what to say at first. Then he told her, "Luna, your hair is glowing like a star." "That's amazing." Luna just smiled at him. She was glad it was still quite dark, so Solus could not notice that her cheeks had turned red. Oh, wow. Look at that picture. She did not like to show her superpowers, but in situations of darkness she could not stop it. The view of the Milky Way from there was just spectacular, and the stars were shining brighter than ever, much to Solis's amazement. The night, although clear, was rather windy and cold. I think it's getting chilly, Princess Luna said. Why don't we go back to the coach and watch the stars from there? Solis suggested. Once they got back at the coach, Solis opened the roof so they could lie down and watch the stars. They stargazed together, and Solis was just about to explain to Luna about some of the stars when Luna began to tell him of the star constellations with a wide knowledge and passion. Solis was very surprised with Luna's knowledge about the name of the stars and all existing star constellations, and he recalled the dinner with her friends again, where they said she comes from the kingdom of stars. She also remembered that Luna did not like to be asked about her royal status, and he decided not to ask her any questions about it for now. Suddenly, something unexpected happened. A few shooting stars streaked across the sky, and they began to dance and formed loops and tangents, forming the letters L and S inside a heart-shaped outline. Oh, wow. It was truly magical, and Solis and Princess Luna could do and all. It was truly magical, and all Solis and Princess Luna could do was laugh and point at the sky and laugh some more. The joy seemed to last for an eternity, and it seemed like no one had ever experienced it before, like it was something special just for them. Oh, what a story. Okay, that is 4 chapters, and we are going to take a break, and I will do another video for the next few chapters. So I hope you enjoyed this read, and wow, what a adventure. We've learned about the Timbisha Native Americans and some of their foods. We've learned about some of the cool locations and how they were formed and the colors, the rocks. I've spent many times there, and in all seasons. I love Death Valley, and I highly recommend you go there. I'm sure there's a lot of really cool information ahead, so I won't spoil it. So until next time, Chrispy Patty, please subscribe if you enjoy this channel, and spread the word. Thank you. Peace.